All right. Welcome back to Scared Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here once again with Joel Miller. Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yep. Pedro Pascal is here to talk about The Last of Us Season 2.
Yep. Or
Um,
I could be Tommy this season since he's, same last name.
yeah, same last name. All right. So the season just concluded, and we watched all the episodes of Season 1 and now Season 2. We've also played the game for both games. And so we have some stuff to talk about today with how this concluded and kind of what it means in the world of this franchise, and maybe talk about some things to come that are in the video game. So there are spoilers in this episode for sure. So if you have not watched this show, then go watch it. It's definitely worth your time to watch. Um, Especially season 1, I would say. And we're going to be spoiling season 2, so
Yeah.
go watch that as well. All right, so a little recap. Season 1, we've got these two people that are on the screen here, which can't really see them too well, but we've got Joel and Ellie. Okay. It is, I don't remember how long into this apocalypse, basically.
It started in 2003, and then
So yeah, it was 20
something.
years.
Yeah, it had a 20-year jump after. Are we spoiling season 1 also, or just?
Yeah, we're just gonna briefly.
Something pretty big happens at the beginning of the game and show too.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's a 20-year leap. So we're in 2023.
Yeah.
At the start of the season.
Yeah. And so I mean, Joel has a history with his daughter, and so he finds Ellie and kind of takes her in, over time. She's immune to the virus that has basically broken out and turned everybody who's come in contact into the infected. There's different versions of them that they have to fend off throughout the season, and that you can't get bit. So it's kind of like a zombie, vampire type deal. If you get bit, then you eventually turn into one of the infected. Now, something special about Ellie is she is immune to this. And so that's pretty much what the season is about. Because of her immunity, they want to try to create a cure.
Mm-hmm.
And they go through long treks of, getting to different places and fighting off the infected and building their relationship. There are, other characters involved too that, just don't make it to season 2.
Yeah.
And so season 2 starts with the aftermath of season 1, which they got Ellie to this hospital.
The Fireflies.
The Fireflies hospital.
A group of
group of it's kind of like different like belief systems or different kind of ways of life in this post-apocalyptic world. You got different kind of different groups that have different purposes, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty intense.
Especially when you get in season 2.
Yeah. And the Fireflies are, there's this hospital, and they're going there to potentially create a cure because they're like these are doctors here at this hospital, scientists. And Joel discovers that in order for this cure to be created, Ellie will need to die.
Because it's from her brain. So
yeah, because it's
they don't
through her
really have.
brain that they'll have to extract whatever they need to create this cure.
And there are brain, brain doctors, but probably not in this world.
Neurologists.
Urologists, but probably not, in this world. So
yeah, I don't know what these doctors like, what kind of experience they have, and how. I don't know if they
how
were
good their technology
clear.
is.
Yeah, I don't know if they were very clear on this will for sure create a cure, and this will for sure like cure the virus. I don't know that they were 100% positive on that. And Joel didn't like this option. So he decided, nope, you're not doing this. And he takes Ellie and escapes the hospital. And on his way through his escape, he kills everybody there who gets in his way.
And it's a really cool part to play through because you're literally like just murdering everybody in sight. You can dodge and like get away from certain people, but if you want to play the way that Joel does in the show, you're just like your guns ablazing the entire time.
Yeah. And he's like holding her while he's going through, just plowing down people.
Oh no, he already did that. He got to he was already like plowing people down, and he gets to like where they're about to operate on her, and the doctor's like, "You got to get through me with this tiny little scalpel." Okay.
Yeah.
You're not really a threat to me. So, and then he then he grabs her and takes her out. But at that point, I'm pretty sure most of the people were already dead.
Yeah.
Except for one person, Marlene, who we got Ellie from in the first place. So we met.
So
several hours ago.
He tells Ellie that, basically there's other people with an immunity too, and this wasn't going to work. And they were, he makes reasons as to why it didn't work out. And I had to, we had to leave. Which is not true.
Yeah.
So going into season 2, it's been a number of years later. I think 10 years later, how it starts.
I think that I think it starts 5 years into it.
5 years?
5, yeah. I'm pretty sure we're 5. So we're in 2028 at this point.
Yeah. And they are in this town, Jackson, where they went to after season 1. And Joel's brother Tommy is there with his wife and now kid, and they've kind of made a life there.
Yeah.
And that's where this season starts. So I'm not going to go step by step throughout the season, but there's a big event that if you played the game prior to the season coming out, that was the big question. Like, when is this going to happen? Or is this going to happen right away? Are we going to kind of learn other things and add other stuff that maybe wasn't in the game to get to the end of the season before this happens? Because when this season started, we knew there was going to be a third season that would complete the story.
Now apparently they're talking about a 4th season too now. So we'll see.
Yeah, now we're talking about 4th season. At the time, it was only 3.
Split
but
2.
But we knew that was a big part of the game. And what that is Joel being killed. So that's a huge thing that happens within a couple of hours in gameplay. And they decide
it's a long game.
Yeah, it's a very long game. I think it's like over 30 hours.
Mm.
It's longer than the
It's longer than the first game.
one. Yeah. But somehow I guess this is a at least two parts for this game. So anyways. So, you're a couple hours into the game when this happens, and you're 2 episodes into the show when they decide to kill him off. So, what did you think of that choice?
Well, it fit the game because it did happen. Like, it happens about an hour and a half, 2 hours into playing the game, and that's about how when it happened in the TV show. So I get them putting it there. I do think it was kind of risky to put it there, like in episode 2 of a seven episode like story arc. But I feel like because of what all happens in the season, it kind of had to happen early on. They we had to like meet the characters and involved in everything, and I was shocked when it happened as early as it did in the show, but watching it through, because as of now the season's over. Like like this is the the end of season talk. I think it makes sense to do it this early on.
Okay.
So I don't like it because I like Pedro Pascal. I like Joel, but there's a lot of story that has to happen in this after that.
And he's still in quite a bit of the season in like flashbacks and stuff.
He has a full-on flashback episode, so
so it's not like you don't get the actor or the character anymore after that. So you still get a good amount of him, not as much as you would if he was living throughout the whole thing. But you still get some. And then there's so I didn't want it to happen that soon. When it happened in the game, I was like, what the hell? No. I just finished watching season 1 when went into the part 2 Last of Us game, and it happened so fast. Like it was like maybe a week later or not even a week later when I started the game. And I started the game because I was so invested in these characters. I'm like, I want to see what happens next, I want to wait for season 2. I want to see what happens next. And then I get that, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. And I don't care about Abby. At this point, I'm like, who cares about this chick? Like, I don't care what her motivation is. Like, why?
Well, it's the same motivation as Ellie has. It's like it's a complete mirror of what's going on with both of them. So, you're tangled up in this world of revenge, and that's what this whole game is about. Is like you're just going through this cycle of vengeance, and just like at what point does it stop? At what point do you break that chain of revenge? And I think that's why a lot of people, once they actually get through the game, because I know a lot of people quit playing after that happens, but then a lot of people did get back into it after a while, and because of the story that's being told, they actually end up loving the game. And and there is a definite, really good story to be told here. I am curious how season 3 is going to go, based on how they ended season 2. But we'll get there soon. Soon enough, because
it's going to be a couple of years, most likely. I'm
hoping it's going to be less than that.
2027.
27 before we get season 3.
Yeah.
Why is it going to take? Well, I guess it's only 2 more years from here, but still,
they're not filming anything until next year, 2026.
no.
So
Hopefully, we get it early.
Possible.
Yeah,
it's possible for the end of 2026, depending on when they start.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most likely. Yeah, because I mean, if it's 7 episodes again, that's another 7 hours. So
Yeah.
it's not like a movie where you can film it beginning of the year and release it end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like doing 2-3 movies
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
putting them all out. So it takes a while, and there's a lot of like effects and set pieces and stuff that need to be
we
part
haven't
of
even.
the show.
There's a scene that we're going to be getting to in season 3, or if they extended it to season 4, that's going to like rival the Jackson scene in episode 2. So it's gonna be a pretty big set piece.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's between both the other 2 groups of people that we see in the season.
Okay.
They go on. They have. There's an all-out war that happens, and our group gets caught in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're introduced to a couple of new groups. So the WLF, and they call them wolves. That's who Abby is part of that group, and that's who killed Joel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big group though. These were just a few of those members that were part of the scene where Joel was killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's I can never remember their like full name.
They're like Seraphites or
Seraphites.
I think Seraphites.
Or they're the
they're the whistlers in the game, because when you're there's a pretty creepy scene that you're like you hear whistling, and that's how they speak to each other when there's people around, and you're just like I think you're just Ellie at this point, and you're trying to like find where the whistles are coming from, and as they're approaching. So it's a creepy scene.
Yeah. And they're like the WLF is more like military.
Yeah.
And the Seraphites are more like wild and like
cults.
Yeah, like a cult, religious cult, but like if you've seen Wrong Turn, the newest Wrong Turn version, they kind of remind me of that. That group.
Yeah.
They're savages, basically. They, anybody that comes around that isn't part of their group, good luck.
Yeah. Apparently they listen to a 5-year-old child at one point.
Yes. Yeah.
As their leader.
Season. It's all right, what do you think? So yeah, they're pretty brutal. But WLF is very brutal as well.
They are,
yeah. So they're equally matched in their brutality, I would say. It's different the way that they go about doing things. So anyways, Joel is killed, and we get to see Ellie and Dina and Jesse and Tommy. So what'd you think of those characters? There's more characters in this.
There are. I like Tommy from the first season, so I liked him. Yeah. I'm glad he's around in this one. I love Dina. I think Dina is a great character, and I wasn't really a big fan of her in the game, but in the show, she's like probably my favorite character. After after the death of Joel. She brings like a lot of intelligence to Ellie, who I feel like they kind of dumbed down a little bit in the season. I think it might be because of like who you're around, I guess, but like she definitely doesn't feel, especially since she's been under the care of Joel for the last 5 years, like she should know more, that he's been like, I'm sure he's been teaching her stuff. I know she was a child in the first game, but she's 19 now,
Yeah.
and she still doesn't act like it. um, I don't know. And Dina she acts like she's older than her age.
Yeah.
So I like both of them, and I like Jesse also. We don't get a whole lot with him. It's mostly Dina and Ellie that go on this adventure
Yeah.
together. So we don't get a whole lot of Tom. We don't get a whole lot of Jesse up until about we get the first couple episodes, and then the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
We get them, but yeah, I like the characters. Um,
Yeah, I
but
think
she
they
still had
aged.
Joel, but it's the characters are strong enough to where
Yeah.
I'm okay with.
Yeah, and there's a character that's added to the show.
The therapist.
The therapist.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Can't
too.
remember the character's name. Oh gosh.
I know her husband's
Eugene's
Eugene,
wife. Yeah.
which is crazy. We know his name, but we've only had one episode, one scene with him in it.
Yeah.
But we've had multiple with her.
Yeah, he's been mentioned
a
number of times. His name has been said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was referenced in the game, but we
Mm.
never actually saw him in the game.
Yeah.
We get to see his demise in the
Yeah.
show, which you could kind of tell what was going to happen. Just from him, Joel talking to the therapist. It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
He probably was
gets
turning
bit,
infected,
but
And
how do you
that's
feel about the whole scene though? Like, because
yeah,
I feel like, I mean, he's just doing. Joel does what he does to just protect Ellie. Like that's it. That's That's his main focus. But at some points you gotta think of other people also. Like if you were to play it safe, you could have safely done things differently to at least get them to be able to talk to each other. Because you're saying he's about an hour away. Ellie was even saying like we have time because she knows how long it takes for this stuff to happen. So it's like, and then he just like instead of being honest with her, he just goes, "I promise, we'll get him over," and he just straight up breaks that promise like to her face. And it's like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah,
that was the best thing to do.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's the point of the show, like these moral dilemmas, and the like you said, the at what point is revenge, obviously a bad idea.
Yeah.
And who is it a bad idea for in the end? Does it, and what does it even serve? When it's all said and done, you're serving yourself,
yeah,
because the person that you're avenging is no longer. So it's really, I think you could talk about revenge in a way of like, oh, I'm avenging his death, he would want me to, or if I died, he would go and avenge my death. But would he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Joel would. Yes, Joel would avenge.
Yeah.
Ellie's
Well,
death
yeah.
Ellie
he
died.
would.
But he wouldn't want her to avenge his death. And that's pretty much what this entire season is about. It's about Joel dying and Ellie and Dina going on a trek to find his murderer.
Yeah.
And kill her, basically.
Yeah.
And they run into different groups and different obstacles, and of course some infected, and then at the end Jesse is killed, which was a bummer.
We get Jesse back for an episode.
Yeah.
And he dies the way that he dies in the game, which is really messed up. It's just like, okay, bam, we did. Wow, okay. We didn't get any.
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten more of his character and more of
Mhm.
it, like the background between him and Dina.
Yeah.
Because she is going to have his baby.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
that's a pretty significant piece of the story here that maybe next season we'll get some background between the two of them, but
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So he's killed by Abby. Abby finds
Which makes you hate
them
Abby all over again because
again, yeah.
it's like,
And we learn why she is doing what she's doing and why
mhm.
she killed Joel. We learn that. And I still don't care. So I know the next season is going to be a largely Abby story,
Mhm.
and I'm just not excited about that. I I've grown attached to. Now that Joel's dead, like I don't know that I care at all. I know it's supposed to be great, and I did not see the majority of Abby's story in the game.
Mhm.
I did realize I don't want to know everything.
Yeah.
So, going into this season, I was hoping to learn things that I didn't already know, and that is not the case. So,
Yeah,
everything that
this
I saw in the game happened
yeah.
in this season. Um, so they're in the game. It's basically split into two parts, and then you have, uh, more after that. But
Yeah.
it's basically Ellie's story and version of the days in Seattle, and then
Mhm.
Abby's. Um, so Isaac is a character that is really intense.
Yeah.
I like him.
I like Isaac.
Um, I like that actor.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright,
He's
he's a really good actor.
yeah, Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, he's perfect. It's
Mhm.
almost like the
He was the
video
voice.
game.
He was the
Oh, he
game.
was.
He was Isaac in
Okay.
the game. Yeah.
No wonder they made him, because he looks like that actor in the
Yeah.
game. So,
Mhm.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. They did that a
Um,
couple of times. Marlene was the same in the game as she
okay.
was in the and Ellie's mom at
Mm-hmm.
the end of season 1 was
Mm-hmm.
Ellie in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
thought that
heard
was
about
kind of
that.
cool.
I saw that.
And then
Yeah.
Joel was in a couple episodes as well. The game version
Mm.
with that really intense
Oh,
group
yeah.
in
That
season
other group.
1. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like wow. Yeah. He was part of that group.
Yeah.
The cannibals or whatever. Um yeah. So I like how
That's
they
crazy.
integrated different like the actors from and sometimes the characters from the
Mm-hmm.
game into the show. So
Yeah. There's some cool, like, background stuff like that when it
mhm.
comes to the making of the video game and the show. Every episode has a, like, behind the episode um little segment. It's like a
Yeah.
5 to 10 minute little piece of kind of the story and what they're going for, and
Mhm.
you know how they were able to pull off some of the scenes and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. I would
Mhm.
definitely, if you haven't, I would definitely go and watch those behind the scenes clips for
Yeah.
each episode. It gives you a little bit more of context as to what the creators were thinking when they were
Mhm.
making these decisions. Um, and so, yeah, it basically ends with Abby shooting at Ellie, maybe,
Yeah.
or just shooting near Ellie, or shooting somebody else. We don't
Or
know.
maybe Dina was around. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
maybe
I
Dina
don't
was there.
remember how that whole part worked out exactly.
Hmm.
But Dina has to be there with them. Like the whole group is there. So
Yeah,
where's
she
Dina?
is there. I don't know
Yeah.
about in that area though. I don't know if she
Hmm.
was in that area.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how it ends. And as someone who played up to that point in the game, it
Hmm.
wasn't. There was definitely stuff that was in the game that was not in the show, stuff that was in the show that was not part of the game. And I feel like it was fine. The season was fine. Objectively,
season's not over. The game's not over.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're only
objectively when it comes to the acting and the set pieces and how they were able to again make it look like the video game when it comes to the scenery and they used a lot of lines straight from the game.
Yeah.
And all of that kind of stuff, especially the acting, that everybody did an amazing job.
Yeah.
It's like flawless television.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When it comes to all those things. Now, when it comes to some of the decisions with killing Joel off on the second episode, ending it where they did, that's where I'm just like, I'm not super excited for season 2 or season 3. I don't know. I don't care about Abby at this point.
Well, you're not. So the thing with that, you're really supposed to hate her in the game because you don't even know the motivation behind it.
Yeah.
When all this is done and you're playing as Abby,
right.
You don't find out until the end of the game exactly what happens. So it's like you're supposed to play as this character that's just murdered Joel and murdered Jesse. It's like, what? Why am I playing as this character?
Yeah, that was so weird in the game. Like,
so I am glad that they told us ahead of time what our motivations were, especially if you're trying to get a season 4. You need to let us know why we need to care about this character. Because we're going to be spending. It's so there was when she shoots at or someone fires a gun, it goes dark, and then we wake up 3 days prior and we're on Abby's point of view. So we're on day 1 in Seattle, and it's from Abby's perspective. So we'll get at least 3 episodes with just her, I think. Maybe 1 episode a day. And then maybe we'll get back into our other character. I don't know how long the season's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this season was like twice as long as season 1. But season 1 had 9-10 episodes. And so if you need to make this season longer than 7 if you're trying to tell the full story. Because it's only going to be a couple of hours different from season 1. So, but I don't know how much more of the story we really have to tell, because we have Abby's story, and then I guess the big fight, which I don't think we even need to be a part of. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of what happened in the back half of this game, but I kind of want to play it myself.
Yeah.
I got 2 years apparently in between, so But
something I'll say. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna add that it's bold to end your season on Abby, because I don't know how many people are gonna be tuning in to season 3. To see Abby's story. Like, she does a really good job as Abby. I think the actor is incredible at what she does. But it's just like, I know the story, but for people that don't know the story, like, why do they care?
Why do they care? And I know that you're eventually gonna get Abby's story, and you're gonna feel for Abby. I know that that's the eventual point of it. But as a TV show, waiting 2 years after one of the main characters died, and we don't know what happened to Ellie. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know about the game, you could assume Ellie is dead at
Yeah.
this point, and we
Yeah.
have a new main character
Mm-hmm.
and a new group of people. And why do I care about that? I
Mm-hmm.
just spent I loved this show because of the first season. That's what got
Yeah.
me to watch the second season. Now you're completely flipping it with different characters, and it's like this is not an anthology show. Like,
It could be. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's
it's
what it
enough of
seems
this
like they're
world
trying to
to.
do. So I am not nearly as interested in season 3 as I was season 2. I'll say that.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel. That
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's one of those things. Even people that love, like I was saying, people that love the story even stop playing the game after a while. Like
Yeah.
after, and it's like I have to play as her now. What? I'm not gonna do that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
but then, but the thing with video games versus a TV show, you get so much longer with the characters on a game that
Mhm.
it's easier to fall in love with a character when you're
Mhm.
them for so long.
Mhm.
We're only going to be following Abby for maybe 4 episodes
Mhm.
until we get the other crew back, and it's like, is that enough time to
Yeah.
really get people to care about her story?
Maybe that's why they're thinking they need
Another
a season 4.
Yeah, because all 7 hours is going to go to Abby. We're not going to get Ellie for
Yeah.
till 2030.
No Joel, no
Yeah,
Tommy,
yeah.
just a whole new cast of
Just
people.
yeah. We'll get them back. We'll get them back eventually, but
Yeah.
that'd be too much. I don't know.
Yeah. You only gotta wait 10 years. We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Something else I didn't care for in this season was we didn't get enough. I mean, when it comes to quantity of the infected, I think we got a lot
yeah.
just because of that
That
one
one
episode
episode.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to episodes,
Yeah.
at least the last 2 had none, no
Mm-hmm.
infected at all. And that's like a big part of what I like about the show
We got a
is
couple stalkers, though. And those are
I want
scary.
more of that. I
Yeah.
wanted more of that. And I don't know. I feel like they're turning the threat. Other people were always a threat in
Mm-hmm.
season 1, but now they're really shifting it to the infected is like a secondary issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't even
Well,
talking about them for a little while.
no, they weren't, but we did get the spores, which is a different,
Yes.
which were actually in the game in the first
Mm-hmm.
game. They had spores instead of just like the infected.
Yeah.
I remember having to go into certain places, and having like wear a gas mask, and as Joel,
Pretend.
yeah.
Oh, as
Well,
Joel?
as Joel, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he had like a gas mask on going into places. So that was interesting trying to play with a gas mask on.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do like the addition of that because we did get one of the characters infected that way, Nora from the bad group, or quote unquote bad group that we have right now. I also so we did get that war on Jackson, which did not happen in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun to see all those infected attacking and everything. I did really like that talk that Ellie gave to Dina in this episode, so episode 7, where she's
Mm-hmm.
telling her how she got the information from Nora,
Mm-hmm.
and how she's like, I just kept hitting her. I didn't even feel anything, and you could see it really affecting her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm turning into someone I didn't want to turn into.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the start of this journey of
Yeah.
more forgiveness and not as much revenge on
Yeah.
our characters. So I do like where it's going that way because that's where it should be going. But at the same time, I do remember playing as Ellie in the game, and you're you're fighting your way through the wolves. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're like there's scenes where you're just like murdering a bunch of wolves, and they're like asking for like no, please stop, no, and
Yeah.
you keep doing you're just going on a rampage. We didn't get that Ellie in this season,
No.
so
No.
I feel like I don't know, it's easier to go on a path of forgiveness if you're already like so far over on the other side. It's more compelling of a story to like actually get back your humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when it's being told in that kind of a form where you're just like
Yeah.
you're murdering everybody, you just don't care. You have
Yeah.
one mission and one mission only. You don't care who dies.
Yeah.
Um, and they're not so. I like the
Yeah. They didn't really do
path
that.
they're going. They
Didn't really
didn't do that in
explore
this
that a
season.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And like in the behind the episode stuff, they were
Mm,
talking about that a lot.
mm,
But I don't know that they achieved what they think they achieved. I feel like their like discussion in the behind the episode stuff is like was like, hey, this is what's happening,
mm,
to the audience. Like, this is what you're supposed to think. You're
yeah.
supposed to see that Ellie has, done this, and this, and the emotions
Mm,
that she's displaying is because of this. And it's like, if you have to do that, then you're not really achieving what
yeah.
you set out to achieve. And I I agree. I think there could have been other shootouts. There could have been other
Mm,
people that she came into contact with who didn't give up any information, so she killed them.
yeah.
There could have been more scenes like that we saw with Owen and Mel.
Yeah.
There could have been more stuff like that to kind of really put her over the edge
Mm,
to really hammer that home.
yeah.
And I mean, but she's 19, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, do we really need to push it that far
Yeah.
for a 19-year-old
We
to
need
kind of
people in
come to
this.
their
You need to
senses?
murder to. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. She's. I mean, still just a kid. Like
Yeah,
19, technically an adult, but you're still a kid. Like
yeah.
you're so.
Um, what are your overall thoughts? Basically, mine are is it was okay, but I'm not too excited for the next season, and I have to wait 2 years. So
I
we'll
really
see
hope we don't have to wait
if
that long. Come on, guys.
I am interested when it actually comes back.
They don't even have to film everything all at one time. Just we get them weekly anyway. Just
Yeah,
give us a couple episodes, and then as you're working on
yeah.
them,
That's what the sitcoms used to do.
yeah, exactly. I think South Park still does that kind of thing. They're just like week by week. Um, I if I didn't know where this story was going, I would be on the same page as you. I still don't think that it's wise to start your next season with Abby. Um, from her point of view, just because we literally end the season with her killing Jesse, like,
Yeah.
and now we're supposed to just be on her, like, we're supposed to see everything from her perspective. Um, I'm not sure how popular the next season's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
um, because because of how you're starting it,
Yeah.
and I mean, once we get Ellie and everyone back, maybe the ratings will go up a little bit. But like, I don't see this. I don't see this season doing very well. I'm hoping enough to get another season so we can at least finish
Mm-hmm.
this game. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I am looking forward to it because I do love the story,
Mm-hmm.
but that's only because I know the story. Um, so yeah, I would be in the same boat as you because you're killing off all of our characters that we love.
Yeah.
Um, and for
And
people that
that's
we
what
don't
this
even
show
know anymore,
does. That's what this show did, or this
in season
game did in
one,
the first season too.
yeah,
It was like, all
they,
right, let's get to know a character just to kill him. Like they
yeah,
literally had a full episode on a character. Then just, I mean, it was like a movie because it was a
yeah,
longer episode
it
too.
was, oh yeah,
And like, and just to, I mean, like you knew that they were gonna die at the end because
yeah,
that character had already been mentioned as being dead. So, but
mm-hmm.
still, like, okay, he's dead. Now let's just do a whole episode on him so you grow attached and then you remember, oh yeah, this guy's gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
dang, man.
both. So you meet one of the character, Bill, I think.
Mhm.
You fall into like his traps and stuff, and you're upside down at one point. You're shooting zombies as they come, and you have to do that until he comes and chops, you know, get you free from it. But the other guy, yeah, I forgot what his name was. It was Bill and something. They mentioned that they were partners
Mhm.
in the game, and that he like killed himself or whatever. But
Mhm.
I mean, eventually, I'm pretty sure Bill eventually dies in that
Yeah,
game.
he does.
But but yeah, it's definitely shown very differently in that episode,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that episode to me was kind of what episode 6 for season 2 was. It was sort of like a break
Mhm.
between, we get one good episode of just wholesomeness, and then because sometimes you need it, like you can't go an entire show and just have
Yeah.
everybody die. That's just crazy. Um, because you had the brothers a couple episodes later that you meet,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
Yep.
dude, stop killing off all of our characters.
Exactly.
um,
Yeah.
they didn't do that
That's
very much in this one though. I mean, they killed off Joel, which is like the character,
mhm.
and Jesse. But other than that, I think that's all they've killed.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, season 1 was crazy for multiple reasons. It's just
Yeah.
stop murdering all of our characters. Um, so this is, yeah, there's a definite there's a definite like tone switch between these two games, these two seasons. Season 1 was definitely darker. It was more
Mhm.
focused on the zombies and the infected. Um,
Yeah.
there were a couple of openings in the beginning of episodes 1 and 2 that were very different from the game. They weren't in it. Like the whole how we start the entire show
Mhm.
back in like the 60s was not in the game at all. And then going to like what Venezuela or whatever country,
Mhm.
that was not in the game either. And so just basically having to like bomb the entire world basically to clear the infected. And it's like it makes sense because of like what happens 20 years later. You're seeing buildings that were like look like they were exploded, like they look like they
Yeah.
were torn down from bombs and stuff. So that all makes sense. um, but we didn't get any of that in the actual video game. So
Mhm.
it is nice when they add certain things in there.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, overall, I think it's a good season of TV. Season 1 was definitely better, but that's just because again we got the full game in one
Mhm.
season. So the fact that we're splitting this game up into apparently 3 seasons um, seems a little crazy, but also like I just want to get to like the full finished product before.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a good
Right.
good follow up to season 1 or a good follow up to the first game,
Yeah.
or did we just go off the deep end at this point?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just,
I guess, yeah, it's kind of hard to judge um, when it comes to, you only got like half a game or not even
not even, yeah.
for this season. So it's definitely a continuation. I feel like I wouldn't be like in such a negative mood about it if I knew like in 3 months, this is just a break, there's going to be part 2 of season 2, then I'd be like, okay, that sucks. And I don't like that decision to end on there, but 3 months, like they do a lot of shows like that.
Yeah.
Or they did. I don't know how often they do that anymore, but
Netflix is big on doing that still.
Yeah, like Stranger Things, they did that with that show. And that I'd be more excited about that. But knowing that I have to wait for a long time, I just don't feel like it was a good decision to end there. I get why they did, because the game is split into 2 different character stories, and this is kind of where Ellie's story takes a break.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I think they could have rearranged things a little bit to get to Joel dying at the end of this season. I think that would have been a better ending. But
I'm not sure how they're going to actually end this game, because how the game, like how that actually ends, is what we got from episode 6, where she's like, the whole like where he tells her what happens, and she goes, I don't think I can forgive you, but I'm going to try. That's how that game ends, like right there.
Really?
Yeah.
So it like goes back in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of did what we did with this season, where we had a flashback episode for the last 5 years that we were in Jackson.
Yeah.
And then the last moment was that moment where he's being honest with her and stuff. And yeah, so it's I was like, because I kind of like that as being the end.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
It was, yeah, it was a really good scene, and having that just like that, it feels like it's heavier of a scene if you're just ending your game that way. Like you ended game 1 with basically him lying to her about what happened, and you're ending game 2 with telling the truth about what happened.
Right.
And
it's a good bookend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How are you gonna do this one?
Maybe they're gonna show that scene just again. Who knows? I don't think they know what they're gonna do yet.
I know. Get on it.
All right.
They should have been already filming it as the season was going on.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Like, the script is already there in front of you. Like, the script is the game. They gotta like fill in the gaps for certain stuff, but it shouldn't take you that long. Come on.
All right, so I'm looking at IMDb for the overall rating of the show is an 8.6, which is a very high rating.
Yeah.
But if you look at episode by episode, that's where it kind of really breaks down the different seasons. So season 1 had mostly 9. Well, there was a 7.3, but that was the season or episode 7 of season 1. Oh, it's when Ellie goes to the mall with that
Oh, okay.
one girl.
The DLC
Yeah.
part of it. That was the lowest.
So
I thought that was. I mean, it didn't really have much to do with the rest of the story, but they did like mention at one point early on that, um, she's had one friend be infected or whatever before, and that was her one friend.
Yeah. So, and I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people in a couple of these episodes that voted. So this isn't just some 100 people or whatever. So,
yeah,
but most of them are in the 9s.
Mm-hmm.
So very well received. And then we got season 2, and there's one in the 9s, one in the high 8s, and the rest are 7s and even 6s.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that the one in the 9s is the one that we lost Joel on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was very dramatic, and
it was a really well made,
a really good episode with
episode,
the storm and all the
Mhm.
infected and everything.
Yeah,
Definitely the best episode of the season. At least I think.
What was 6s and 7s? Come on,
Yeah.
guys! I don't think it goes that bad.
Yeah, 6.2 for episode 4, 6.9 for episode 3. Yeah. Episode 7 got a 6.7 so far. So, definitely a step down as far as IMDb is concerned.
Yeah.
But let's give our rating
Of the whole season?
2. Yes.
Season 2. Oh, man.
You can rate season 1 too if you want. We didn't have an episode on that, so.
Season 1, for me, it did a really good job of adapting the first game, which I appreciated. So you don't get that very often anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm giving that one a 9.5 because that was an incredible season of television.
So at 95.
Yeah, 95. We don't do things that way on IMDb does them. 95. Season 2. I liked a lot of what I saw here. And again, it is not the full game. It is a third, apparently, of the game. But I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah. I was thinking 90 for season 1.
80, sorry.
Yeah, 80. 90 for season 1. And I can go 82. 80 as well, I should say.
82? One up me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, objectively, which I don't like to use that word a lot when it comes to these things, but on paper and on screen, without having if you don't have any concept of the game, if you don't know anything about the characters, it's well written, well acted. The set pieces are amazing. The characters are great. There's, these bigger concepts of like revenge and, what would you do in this situation? Those moral dilemmas, the different characters and their motivations. And, there's all kinds of good stuff. So I can't really knock it too hard because there's so much good stuff in the show. It is just some of the decisions and the order as to which they put things and where they decided to leave us hanging. Is what's tough for me to give it a really high rating. And I feel like some of the episodes were slow that didn't need to be slow. We spent more time on things that I didn't think we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of went quickly through some things that I thought you could build more on. Like you were saying with the her going through the WLF. Like we could have seen more of that.
Yeah.
And I'd take that over, some of the other stuff in the slower episodes. So, just matter of preference, I guess, and more infected. That's something I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah.
But 80 for both of us, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see what season 3 has to offer in a couple years. Hopefully we'll still be doing this podcast.
Yeah.
At that point.
We'll be on year.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I didn't even say. If you want to hear our feelings about season 3, then you should probably subscribe.
Yes.
Because if you don't subscribe, we might not do this anymore at that point.
Yeah. Maybe not.
So
Who knows?
subscribe so that you keep us going.
Yes.
If everybody subscribes, then we promise that we will do season 3. And you can hold me to that. If everybody in the world subscribes, there you go.
Everyone in the world. Oh man.
Yeah.
We'll be the
everyone
the richest podcast ever.
Everyone who watched season 2 of The Last of Us, if you subscribe, we'll be more than happy to continue the show. But yeah, I guess until then, we'll be done with The Last of Us, unless there's some big news or something that we want to discuss.
I'm sure as the years go on, we'll get some sort of news. I'm just hoping that
it's worth discussing. We might do an episode on it.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we get a third game. I want one more game. Give us another game. I know it took like 10 years in between these two games, but maybe not take that long to give it to us. But I want more of these games to play.
It's been a successful show, so maybe it'll get another game. All right. Well, that's it for The Last of Us Season 2. What did you guys think? Let us know in your comments down below what your thoughts are on Season 2 of this show. And that's it. This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Abby bite.